Good morning, hello everybody, hope you are all doing okay. This morning I want to just get you to have a think back about all the different emotions that we've been looking at and talking about over the last few weeks. Can you remember what the first emotion was that we looked at? It was joy. Do you remember Yvonne spoke to us about joy and being happy and the way that we feel joyful? We've also had a look at fear, when we feel afraid or worried about things. We looked at surprise, how we feel when things happen that we don't expect. We looked at anger. Do you remember Yvonne doing with her angry face, things that make us feel angry? And last week, Tracy looked at excitement, that feeling inside when we get excited about things. And all of these are different emotions. Now, some of these emotions might feel good and some of them might feel a bit more difficult, but there aren't any good or bad emotions. The way that we feel is part of who we are, and different things make us feel different ways. And sometimes it can feel a bit like our emotions are a wave. So can you think of when you've been to the seaside and you see the waves crashing on the sand? Sometimes they're small waves, sometimes they're big waves if it's really windy or stormy. Sometimes the sea can be really flat and calm as well, can't it? But I love watching waves crash. I love stormy seas, and sometimes they're really big and they come and they crash down. And our emotions can feel like a wave sometimes. Maybe some days you wake up and you feel happy, and then other days you wake up and you feel a bit sad, or things happen throughout the day which make you go from feeling happy to make you feeling sad or afraid or worried or excited, and it feels a little bit like a wave. And sometimes we can feel like we're at the top of a wave. So we're happy about things, or things make us excited or joyful. And it feels like we might feel a bit at the top of the wave, but then something happens that upsets us, or it makes us feel sad or angry, or something happens and it makes us feel afraid. And we do this, we go up and down. Now, I don't know about you, but I found this year really hard. It's something that we could never have imagined would happen. But lots of things that are new to us have happened. Having to stay at home and stay indoors is really hard. Only been able to go out for a little bit during the day. It's been really difficult, and we've had to do this twice, haven't we? We had the first lockdown, and now we're in a second lockdown where we can't meet at church, we can't go to each other's houses, we can't see those that we love, and we can't see our friends. And my emotions this year have felt a bit like a wave. Sometimes I felt really happy that I've been able to see my mum and dad, and that I've been able to see my friends and go out. But other times it's been really hard to stay indoors, to stay where we live and not be able to go out or travel or go walking or hug people. That's really, really difficult. And it has been a little bit like a wave, up and down, up and down. And do you know what? It's okay to feel different emotions as we go up and down. Our emotions aren't bad, they're part of who we are, and different things happen to make us feel different things. But in all the different emotions that we feel, it's really important that we come to God, whatever we feel like. And we often come to God maybe when we feel happy or joyful, and we want to say thank you to him for things that have happened. And he is a generous, loving God. But if we only ever come to him when we're happy, we'll never get to know the God of comfort who meets us when we're sad. He's a God of forgiveness, so we can go to him when we feel sorry or when we've done something that we're not happy about. And he's a God of protection, and we can go to him and tell him when we feel afraid about things. He wants to be with you all the time, and he wants to hear from you. He loves it when you talk to him. I'm going to read you a psalm, Psalm 16. This is a paraphrase of Psalm 16, but listen carefully because it's a lovely prayer that you could pray. Protect me, God. I want to hide in you. You are better than every other good thing in my life. You have given me what I need, no more, no less. My life is good and pleasant. I delight in all you've given me. I praise the Lord who advises me always. Even into the night you guide my heart. I fix my eyes on the Lord. With you by my side, I won't be shaken. And so, I'm happy in my heart. I sing cheerful songs and my body feels secure and at rest. Because I know you will never leave me, I will always have your life within me. You show me the way I should go, and I'm content when I'm near you. For eternity, I'll be happy in your presence. So maybe have a listen back to that psalm and think about how the writer was feeling when they wrote it. Have a think about what words have been used to show how and what they feel. And maybe pick one of the phrases and have a go at praying that today. Talk to God about how you feel because he loves to hear from you. So our story today is from the Bible and it's about Jesus, and it takes place on the Sea of Galilee in a boat. So we're going to build a boat, aren't we, buddy?
Yeah.
Right. Ask your grown-ups at home if you can build a boat along with us, but you might need to get their permission to use sofa cushions and things like that. We're going to use sofa cushions, aren't we, to build our boat? So have a go at building your boat and we'll read our story from our boat. Let's go. Okay, so our story is from the book of Mark, chapter 4 and verse 35. On that day, when evening had come, he said to them, "Let us go across to the other side." And leaving the crowd behind, they took him with them in the boats, just as he was. Other boats were with them. A great windstorm arose, and the waves beat into the boat so that the boat was already being swamped. But he was in the stern, asleep on the cushion, and they woke him up and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." Then the wind ceased, and there was a dead calm. He said to them, "Why are you afraid? Have you still no faith?" And they were filled with great awe and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" So we're going to have a go at doing a craft, and we're going to make a storm in a bottle. So if you've got an empty bottle, this is a squash bottle or a pop bottle or something like that, a nice big one if you've got one. And I've filled it just over half full with water. I'm going to add some blue food colouring and give it a good, put the lid on tight and careful. I'm going to give it a good shake so we've got a nice blue sea. Might just empty a little bit of that out so we've got room for the waves. There we go. So our sea, and then I'm going to add, you don't have to, but I'm going to add some sequins to mine, because when you shake the bottle they'll sparkle and you'll be able to see them moving around. If you've got a bit of glitter you can add it to your bottle. I can't find my glitter, so I'm using sequins instead. Add those in, and then we need to fill the rest of the bottle with oil. You can use baby oil or cooking oil. I have to ask mums and dads if it's okay to use first. I've got some sunflower oil, so I'm going to fill the rest of my bottle up with, hopefully, whatever I've got left in my bottle of oil. Nearly done. There we go. And now, to do that really tight, and they suggest putting glue around the top. You can do that after I've shown you. You can have a go making, can you see this, the waves sort of crashing as I move the bottle back and forth? You can, can't you? Have a go at making your own stormy sea of Galilee where Jesus was. And maybe once you've made your storm in a bottle, you could have a go at retelling that story using your storm in a bottle as a prop. You could also have a go at making a storm picture. So I've got a piece of card. You could have a look in some old magazines to see whether you've got any pictures of sea or water, and have a go at cutting those up and making a collage of the sea using different water pictures. I haven't got any old magazines, but I have got some different blue tissue paper. So I'm going to have a go at sticking all of those down to make a stormy sea. So I'm using PVA glue and a paintbrush because I don't have any Pritt stick, but I'm just sticking the tissue paper on to make a stormy scene. So there's mine. And then I've got some black paper, but you can use whatever colour paper you've got. I'm just going to stick my boat on. Stick that onto my stormy sea. Use my paper to cut out a mast and sail. You can make your boat however you want. If you've got some spare card or some spare newspaper, have a go at making it out of that. So I've got a, here's my picture. I've got a stormy sea, a boat on top of it. And I'm just going to write across it one of my favourite verses from that story that we heard. Mark chapter 4 verse 39. It's where Jesus rebukes the wind and the waves and he says, "Peace, be still." So I'm just going to write that right across the top of my picture because it's such a great reminder that Jesus is in control. I'm just going to write that it's from Mark chapter 4 verse 39. So I've got "Peace, be still" written right across the top of my picture to remind me that in all the storms that we face, when our emotions are okay or when we feel really sad, that Jesus can be our peace, and we can pray to him and ask him to give us peace in all the different things that we have to face.